In today's video, I really want to talk to you guys about why I stopped making content. Have you ever lost money?
I lost so much money before.
I was showering at the gym at an LA Fitness. Get everything in writing. How do you stay motivated?
Just making the right decisions.
Third thing is going to be living below your means. How does that feel to say no to someone?
It's a little rocky at first.
All together, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Get Nailed podcast. I'm your host, Chris Mo. If you guys don't know me, I'm a salesman here in the home improvement industry in LA. I do over $5 million in construction sales over the last 5 years. I own over 50 ATMs at this point, and I just love to talk a lot about cool business stuff. I make these videos because I'm on the pursuit to financial abundance, time freedom, and I want to have fun and have some joy doing it. AKA, I want to make a lot of money with you guys. I want to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want. And I just want you guys to pretty much follow along so that way you guys can go ahead and live a great life as well. My life is great. Andrew's life is getting great. This guy's becoming a trader now. So, guys, I told you guys, I promised you guys that I was going to start making videos one time a week. That way I can go ahead and be consistent with this thing. Andrew actually came up to me not that long ago saying, like, hey, Chris, how do you create content? I'm like, hey, pull up. I gave him the whole shebang. And I told him, look, I'm going to make a video. You can come out on it. Like, we can just talk. Because this video today, guys, I have a video that already came out last week, and this video is going to come out, I don't know when. But we're talking about basically how I got back into the content world. I'm going to catch you guys up a little bit, and who else to tell about, like, my current life than someone that hasn't talked to me in months or, like, days and things like that. So you can question me pretty much anything that I talked about, make the whole entire interesting conversation about last time, which was, like, back in October where I left to Florida. Came back. That's usually when I stopped making videos, and I had a whole entire ordain happen. So for me, I'm very transparent. You can literally ask me anything. So as if the person is watching on camera, if you have any questions like, okay, is this guy all bullshit? Tell me, like, hey, like, did that really happen to you? Or tell me more about this. I am an open book. You can ask me anything that you want. So guys, I came back to California, so I'm making content again. It's great being here. I feel so much better. Like, it feels so much better doing content this time around, I guess, because I'm comfortable. I know what I'm doing. And I'm talking about shit that I, like, I've done already myself. So in today's video, I really want to talk to you guys about why I stopped making content, how I came back to California, and just a couple of life lessons, 5 life lessons that I learned over the last couple of months, for the last 6-7 months, on what happened to me. So starting off with the first one, I got screwed over $20,000. That's why I came back.
That's huge, man.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
Have you ever lost money?
I lost so much money before.
What's
Not
the most
20K, though.
No? What's
Not
the most
20.
amount of money you've lost?
Probably lost like a good 16, 17K.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not like money that I already had, but it was money that I was counting on. So I left to Florida because I do sales. I do mostly roofing sales. I went to Florida because in Florida, there is an insurance game when it comes to selling roofs. So insurance companies pay out for these roofs. I went out there because there was a hurricane, and hurricane season over there is like the gold rush. So
okay.
I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's go try it out. I have no kids. I have nothing holding me back. Maybe I can do this ATM, over states. Let's try it out. I go over there. I meet this guy. Sells me the world. It makes it seem. I get there, dude. I've never been to a war zone myself. Where, like, I went there. I had no cell phone service. It looked like that whole entire state went through a war. Light posts down. Roofs all over the place. It was horrible. I never even imagined myself being there.
No way.
I was living in a little town of Florida where nobody even knows. I forgot the name of it. A little town. Like, if you think little town, this is the little town. I was living in a couch for a couple months. At one point, I realized that whoever I was working with was, this guy for sure is a scammer. He started giving me scamming vibes, and I was, like, fighting for my paychecks here and there. I was selling roofs for him, but not getting paid on the back end. And then I slowly started learning the insurance game where, like, I knew what he was doing was not right. So I left him to go work for another company out there in Florida because I didn't want to give up so easily. But if I calculated how much money I sold for him, he owes me about like 10, 15 grand, right? 10 on the low end, 20 on the high end. I'm going to say 10 just to cut my losses. Even when I left to another company, they told me how the game worked. By all means, insurance sales in the roofing game, if you are in a state that does sell roofs through insurance, I would say go at it because it's a great way to make money selling construction Services is a great way to make money. I just went there too early where the politics are coming into play, and it just didn't make sense for me. So for me to get paid out, it was going to take a really long time. So I needed to cut my losses and come back home. So joined a couple companies, asked around, and then I learned the insurance game, and it just wasn't for me. So point is, that person I sold contracts for, he just never paid me. Even when I came back to California, he tried making me come back, saying like, hey, I'm going to pay you, I owe you money. Never heard from him again. So I say that I lost about $10,000. Plus, it cost me money being out there. I was paying rent here, and I was paying rent over there. At one point, I had to like rent out a random room with this like 6 strangers. Felt like I was in college again, living with like cockroaches. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever lived in. It was horrible. I was eating 1 time a day. I was so skinny. I was showering at the gym at an LA Fitness. What? Literally, I would go into an LA Fitness with bags of like soap and shampoo, and I would shower in the LA Fitness because my place that I was living at was dirtier than the LA Fitness.
Oh, man. That's horrible, man.
That was a point in my life where, like, dude, I grew so much, and at that point, I was like, dude, whatever. I grew up in the hood. This is nothing. Got to explore a lot of Florida. I've practically been through all of Florida at this point. But I came back because I got a great life here, dude. I have a lot of great connections. I was making it good for, like, a 25, 26-year-old at the time. So I came back, got my old job back because I'm a great salesman. So, like, they opened me with open arms. But the company that I originally wanted to go to, they were going through some stuff, so they didn't want to take me back. So I went back to another company. This guy, same thing. I sold some jobs. I came back so hungry because I was basically going in a hole already because I was paying for so many things. Same thing, sold some projects here and there. This guy just doesn't know how to run companies, and that's what I learned about business. A lot of people don't know how to run companies. It got to the point where, like, hey, like, I wanted to leave because this other company offered me a deal, and I went with them because they were just a better suit. Well, when I left this guy, same thing. I sold some jobs for him. I actually sold these jobs, and they got completed, and he got paid, and he owed me about $10,000. So I got screwed. Unfortunately, I can't fight any of this with lawyers or anything like that because I don't have anything in writing. And that's actually one of the key points that I wrote down is to get everything in writing. So if you're going to create new partnerships, if you're going to get a new offer from a company, if you're going to go ahead and do anything with anybody that involves money, that involves risk, get everything in writing. Now, there's also some friends that, you know, like you'll give money to here and there. Some people I lend money to. I don't get everything in writing, so it is what it is. But for people that you're completely strangers with, I would say get everything in writing. So, yeah, I've been basically just struggling for a long time, just trying to catch up on, like, bills and trying to pay things, considering that I was waiting on this money to pay off a lot of this debt, and I never came. So I was just basically in a hole. Hence why I stopped making content, because all this thing costs money. Like, I just ran you through the whole play of what I do. Yeah. You know? Every single time I told you, that cost me $300, that cost me $300, that cost me $3,000. You were like, your eyes were lit up. And I'm like, it's expensive. And this is like low level shit. And there's people who will do it at a really high level that I don't even understand how they do it. But yeah, I got screwed over $20,000. I was just trying to get the ATMs back in place, trying to get some sales going. So I had to take a step back from creating content to basically get my foot back in the base. And I have now. Now I'm in a really great place where now I'm throwing money in investments, trying to get out of that hole, but I'd rather throw money into investment. It's a whole another idea that I'll talk about for another day. Okay. But that was key to point number 1 is just get everything in writing. So if I can give you some advice, is get everything in writing if you're going to create something on deal. Guys, this is Andrew's first time being on camera. He came out to me because he wanted to start creating content. I said, hey, dude, let's go ahead and get your feet wet. Let's go ahead and do it right now. So he's just a little quiet right now. But
he just jumped in. I mean, I didn't know what to, like, I've never been on camera before, you know, so kind of nervous. It's okay. I like it. I mean, I love hearing about your story, man. I feel like you're really good, especially at just, like, expressing what you went through and expressing, like, how you feel. And it's honestly, like, I feel like I'm being entertained. I feel like I'm on the other side of the camera. I don't feel like I'm being recorded right now, you know? So that's why I feel like I'm on YouTube and I'm just, like, looking at a podcast and I'm just, like, really intrigued and I just want to hear more.
Yeah. No, my life is crazy, dude. I do a lot of crazy shit. That's why I like to talk about it, because I do a lot of crazy shit. Everything that I do is just fucking weird. But it's because I put myself in that position. And that's why even recording now, like, people don't realize that sometimes all you gotta do is just act. You know, some people second think it. I'm like, no, let's do it right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's how you get that's how you get uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable is very good for you.
Yeah.
Talking point number 2, guys. Staying positive, discipline is better than motivation. You're a very disciplined person.
Yeah, it could be sometimes. Some days are better than others, of course.
How do you stay motivated?
I think it's just more of like a mindset of like what I value for myself, you know? I don't know what it is. Like, I think I just woke up one day and I was just like kind of tired of kind of like not disrespecting myself, but just like, you know, just not like really like going after like the ultimate version of myself, you know? Like, and I know I got like a long way to go and stuff, but yeah, I think it's just more of like out of respect for my own self. Like, I'm more just aware of the things that I do, the things that I listen to, the people that I surround myself with, you know, and that just all like kind of comes together and just makes me more aware of like how to be motivated or like just be on task throughout the day. And when I say on task, I mean like just making the right decisions, you know, that are gonna actually benefit me, and those right decisions like have to do with discipline, you know, like waking up on time, like going to bed at a certain time, right? Like ensuring that you get like the 8 hours of sleep. I mean, I don't know how you are, but like I need the 8 hours, you know, but I mean, it could come to a point where like I could be disrespectful to myself and be like, you know what? Like, F it, I'm just going to be on my phone, or I'm going to watch Netflix until 12 a.m. today, right? But that, in a sense, like, you're disrespecting yourself in a way, right? Because you're robbing from your next day.
Yeah.
Right? You're waking up that next day and you're, like, groggy and you're, like, stumbling over to your computer screen and, you know, you're not performing as well as you should, right? And all of that had to do with because you just, like, lacked that little bit of respect for yourself that previous day. So it's little things like that.
So how do you get yourself to do something that you don't want to do?
I feel like most of the time I want to do everything that I have on my plate. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I want to do everything, right? Because I feel like I'm just trying to survive for, like, I'm trying to make it for myself, you know? So, like, it's like I kind of have to do everything in order to survive. When it came to working for somebody else, like working a 9 to 5, that's when I kind of like I really needed to psych myself up to go to work and to just put in the hours and to put my best foot forward. And I felt like that's when I really needed the motivation and the discipline, you know, to just be there and show up to work and be there on time and present in front of all my coworkers, right? And to constantly be checking up with several of my coworkers and, you know, doing like my best work. Like some days, like I was self-motivated, but there was a lot of days where I had to like throw on a podcast or something motivational, right? Or like I would have to have on a like music, right? To like be like, oh, like I'm gonna get it today, right? Like we're gonna make this money.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But like deep down, I was like, oh, I don't want to be here. Like, is this all like my life has to offer me?
Yeah.
Right. But that was when I was working for somebody else. Now that I'm kind of like doing it for myself, it's like, oh, like I get to trade today. Oh, I get to go to the gym and I get to work out a little bit. And I know that working out is going to make me a better trader. Or at least it's going to give me more energy and focus to put into the trading, you know? And I'm going to be able to get more work done, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I get to go to sleep on this comfortable bed, like at a good time, because if I get to sleep on time, then, you know, tomorrow I could be a better trader.
Yeah.
Right? I get to walk my dog. I get to do wholesome things because it's going to clear my mind so that I could become a better trader, right?
Yeah.
So it's like all these things, like they don't really need motivation or even discipline. I think the hardest thing to be disciplined about is like what you eat, you know? but I just get like intense cravings, like, I just want to like eat junk food sometimes, you know. Mm-hmm. But that's a work in progress. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah. Honestly, dude, I was telling my sales manager the other day where I wake up really, really like early, right, to go to the gym. I have to start my day with going to the gym. If I don't, then I don't feel like myself. Like even today, like I didn't feel like myself going to my appointments today. It wasn't until the gym I started feeling a little bit more like energetic, getting my things going. But I start my day off. There's some times when I'm on my stuff, like right now I'm on my stuff, where like I wake up, first thing I do is put something motivational. I put my headphones on. Right now I've been listening to the homie Andrew Tate, but I'm always listening to something motivational in the morning, get the blood pumping, really get the mind going, and just get yourself like correct. I don't try to look at news or anything like that. So I start my day off like that. I would say just doing the same thing over and over again is kind of like what gets me to the next level. Sometimes I don't feel like it and I still do it. You know, it's just a matter about like being prepared. I would say like being prepared is the easiest thing. That way you're not like doing all that stuff. It is very hard though, I would say, right now. And it's only going to get harder because one thing, I'm not there yet, and I hope to get there soon. But I've gotten to the point where soon enough, my ATMs are going to take care of all my expenses.
Oh, wow.
So I don't have to go to work if I don't want to. So all my bills will be paid.
Yeah,
so
solid.
That level of comfort is really hard when you want to go out and make more money. And that's the hard thing that I was going through for the last couple of months as well. For the last 2 months where I went on a bender of like going out on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Because I was still like, my ATMs cover a cool amount of my expenses. And then all the money that I do make just goes to like whatever I want. Yeah. So I was just going out, just not doing content, not doing anything, just literally just sales and like living life. Yeah. You know, and that's a great life. That's why I say for a lot of people, they would love to get where I'm at right now. Yeah. And they would be fine. They would love it. Yeah. But it's like, why would I want to do all that other stuff? You know, that's why I don't chase money anymore, because last year I did about 200,000. Dude, for a single person living in LA, that's already a lot. Like,
that's great, man. Yeah.
Now it's like, why do I want to make 300,000, 400,000, 500,000? It doesn't even make sense for me. So now I don't even chase the money. Now it's the time freedom, being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want, and the social status, which is why I do the content thing. Because this is hard. This is hard, and it's gonna take a long time, but it's a new challenge. Yeah. So that's what's motivating me now. It's the new challenge, and the fact that people like yourself, right? When I put content out, you guys ask for help. Yeah. And I love helping you guys. Yeah. Because just the help that I give you guys is worth more to me than $1. Yeah. Like me, everything that I just gave you today, that took me months to learn, dude. Dang. That took me months to learn. Now, if I could just give it to you in just a couple of seconds, I could care less. You can go on and do it with whatever you want, whatever you want to do with it. But it means a lot more to me trying to help somebody just do whatever it is that they want. Because I'm in a place in my life where like I'm really freaking happy, dude. I love to do what I do. I love everything in my life, and nothing else like matters, dude. I live in my own little world, I like to say. Yeah. So if I can help people achieve that in their own life, like that's what brings me joy. Yeah. So staying positive is very hard for a lot of people. So being able to stay positive even through the tough times is what I learned in the last couple months as well. Because that was, dude, being able to like live paycheck to paycheck, that's just hard, especially to have the expenses that I have. So remember, guys, key point number 2 is just stay positive, and being disciplined is better than motivation, meaning just show up, even if you don't want to. Third thing is going to be living below your means, what it means to live on a sales commission only lifestyle. You're kind of on a sales commission lifestyle right now.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
If you don't make good trades, you're not getting paid.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is about trading, like, it's not, you can't really look at it as an income, you know? I mean, you could.
But then you're not going to have any money to trade with.
No, it's not that. It's like trading is not, like, it's not always consistent, you know? There's this one book called Trading in the Zone. Mark Douglas wrote it. And he says that when it comes to trading, a lot of people find it extremely frustrating because when it comes to like the real world, right? Like if you do, right, like a simple math equation, right? If you do X and Y, you're supposed to get Z out of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like the amount of work that you put into something, right, is supposed to show a certain kind of result.
Yeah.
Right? And you're able to track that and like experience that. But when it comes to trading, it's not like that. It's all about like probabilities and statistics, and the probabilities are like pretty random at times, right? So even though you do X and Y, it doesn't always guarantee that you're gonna get a Z from it.
Yeah.
Right? Like there will be like some months where your strategy is like it's good, right? You're gonna win 10 trades out of 15 trades, right? But then there will be some months where you're gonna only win 2 trades out of 10 trades, right? So like it's pretty inconsistent, and it's not very wise to like just like completely depend on trading as your sole income, at least not yet, at least not like in the beginning stages, until you have enough cushion, or until you have like a huge trading account to the point where 2 trades are making up your income for the week, right? And then you're taking 10 trades out of the week, right? So it's like, right, I mean, you could do the math on that.
So how are your expenses?
My expenses are, I mean, I have like a really tight budget, and I just like, I don't swipe my credit card like at all. And I pay everything cash.
Okay.
So I'll load up, the way that I like go about sticking to a budget is I just load up my Apple Wallet with the only spending money that I'm allowed to spend for the week. And as soon as that runs out, that's it. Like I'm basically broke for the week, right? And that's how like I'm able to just not get myself into debt while I'm like still on the beginning like track of this trading journey. Yeah, because I still do like have like some debt, and I got like my student loans, and I'm still trying to like pay that off. But I'm doing so like in a way where like I'm not like having to work extra hours in order to pay off that debt, right? Like I'm just like kind of like doing the bare minimum in order to pay off that debt. Meanwhile, I'm not getting myself into more debt. Yeah. So I just have like a really tight budget, and I go through like certain precautions in order to ensure that I'm able to stick on to that budget.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That basically covers exactly what I was talking about, which is living below your means. People don't realize that it's really hard. That's why I say take a risk when you're young, because you have nothing but yourself to take care of.
Yeah.
But you want to go ahead and live below your means. People ask me all the time, like, Chris, why do you live in this apartment? You make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, and you pay $1,000 in rent. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm able to take fucking big ass swings because I live in this fucking $1,000 apartment. Like this month alone, I'm starting to flip cars. So
say cars?
Flip cars.
Nice.
Yeah, that right now I have a $6,000 play going on. I either lose $6,000 or I'm probably gonna make $6,000. But if I didn't have the ability to only pay a little bit of my expenses and save a lot, then I wouldn't be able to take these big swings.
Yeah, for sure.
So living on a tight budget, making sure you know exactly what's coming in and coming out.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, especially if you're a salesman or a person that's trying to trade stocks or trying to become a business owner. Most people don't realize that you have to live below your means, because then trying to go ahead and cover your expenses while running a business or taking it on a new journey gets really hectic. And that's why I haven't moved, and that's why I'm able to make a lot of these places, because I live below my means. Yeah. So that's another key point that I would say I learned in the last 6 months, which I already knew considering my whole entire life. But I had to go back to the basics of living below my means, not going out every single weekend. Because there was a point in my life last year where I was going out fucking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, going on a new date. A new date was like fucking $100. I was wasting like $500-$600 on just dates itself. Like I think one time I did my taxes, I spent like $30,000 on just restaurants. Ridiculous. So going back to the basics and stuff, but the fourth key point is gonna be learning to say no, which ties into that, right? Where like say for example you run out of your budget, you're gonna have to say no to a lot of people. Like, hey dude, I can't go out.
Yeah.
How does that feel to say no to someone?
It's like, it's a little rocky at first. You feel conflicted. You feel like you should still show up and like always be able to hang out and always be able to attend any event that's going on. But I mean, we're in Los Angeles. There's an event every single weekend. There's always fireworks every single weekend. It's like, every now and then you're gonna miss the fireworks, and it's okay, like, because next week, right, when you can afford it, or if you want to spend money on it, and if you did pre-plan it out, then you could show up to the next event, right?
Yeah.
We're a part of, a huge fraternity, so we have hella friends, and there's always something to do, and there's always a birthday party to attend, right? So, like, if you're missing one party one weekend, it's okay because there's one right around the corner. So I think it's just like a lack of scarcity, just coming from abundance. Like being in Los Angeles, there's always opportunities right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really, like, I don't feel bad about saying no to things.
Some people can't even say no, which is funny because you said this a little earlier, where you said if you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wrote in my notes, where you say saying yes to something is saying no to your dreams. Being alone is pretty much the journey, where, like, creating content, I'll tell you right now, there's going to be some days where you're going to be in your bedroom, wherever it is that you're going to be recording, and you're going to be by yourself, dude.
Yeah.
You're going to be by yourself. You're going to be recording content. You're going to be like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I doing this when I could just be trading stocks? So I can go watch TV. I can go out with my friends, do something else.
Yeah.
But then it comes down to, like, do I really want this? Do I really want to do this? And that's why sometimes you have to learn to say no to a lot of people. I've gotten to the point where, like, a lot of my friends, they stopped asking me to go out with them because I would say no so many times. I'll be like, no. They're like, no. I go out by myself sometimes just because, like, I'd rather do that. One, I make more money than a lot of my friends, so I'm like, dude, why am I going to limit my budget to what you can spend? Two, it's like, dude, like, we're in a whole different level. You're going to ask me questions all night, and I'd rather just say no to you. Or I'd rather do what I want to do. Like, I live my life on my own means. If you want to do something else, by all means, go do whatever it is that you want. Yeah. But saying no to people, for me, is, like, normal now. I do what I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want. And that's how I live my life. So sometimes, guys, you do have to say no to going out on a Friday night, going out on a Saturday night, or just no to, like, hanging out with certain people, which brings me to, like, my last topic, which is getting rid of bad friends. They say you become the 5 people who you surround yourself with. You think that's true?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you hear it over and over. Yeah, I remember. And do you remember Anthony Barcenas, the real estate guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went over to his house once, and it wasn't his house. It was one of his mentees. Mm-hmm. Who I also look up to. He was a civil engineer from Casa de LA. And I went over there, and he's like, he was talking about that exact quote, and he's like, yo, he brought up, like, one thing, right? He's like, yeah, like if you want a six-pack, then hang out with people who have six-packs. Little by little, you're going to start, like, kind of, like, you're going to start eating the way that they eat and working out the way that they work out, and then you're going to get it, So, yeah, I think that applies to everything else. Like, if you want the money that, somebody else has, and hang out with them, and, eventually you're going to start making the money that they make, because, those people that make that money, they stay in on certain days when everybody's going out, right? They know how to budget or whatever, or, they save up money for those big home run plays, like flipping cars. Yeah. Yeah, one crazy thing that I did, like, it was actually, like, what started my trading journey, was, like, for a whole, like, 8 months, right? It was my first engineering job right out of college. The first thing that I did when I was signing out my paperwork, I put my direct deposit information, right? And then they're like, oh, do you want another bank account? Or do you want to reroute money to a different bank? And I was like, you know what, on second thought, yeah, let's do that. So I rerouted, like, 80% of all my funds to a bank account that I, like, had no access to, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I've been frugal before, right? I've been able to, like, live on a very low budget, right, when I was in college before. So I was like, this is not really different. So I was like, let's pretend like I don't even have this money. So I rerouted 80% to a different bank account, and I didn't have access to it. And then in the first like 8 or 10 months, I made like 25K, right? So 25K just all in a savings account. And then with that, I was planning on starting a trade, right? But I still wasn't good at trading. So it took me like a year and a half to start getting pretty decent at trading. And I was about to start trading as a day trader. But then like the prices of cryptocurrency like dropped. I think Ethereum was at like $800, right? Right now it's like at like 2,600, right? So this 25K that I had, I fucking throw it all on Ethereum, bro.
No way.
Yeah. Well, not all of it. I threw like 20K on Ethereum. And I swear to God, I timed it perfectly. Like, I mean, I would look at the charts and stuff, but I didn't know it was gonna blow up like that quick. And within like a month, bro, my shit doubled like to 100%. Yeah, and my whole plan was like, I'm not taking this shit out until this shit goes to like $3,000
to the moon.
until it goes to 3K. It wasn't the moon. The max that it ever hit was like 4,500, right? So I was like, I'm gonna take out at 3K, and then on that I'll be able to, like, I would have tripled my investment, right? But
you got greedy.
Dude, I got, yeah, like, so after the 100%. I was kind of looking at it, and I was like, like I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna hold it, and then like I start hearing about the news, and everything starts getting to me, bro. Like I get on the news, and they're talking about like something's gonna happen in the stock market, or like I forgot what news was going on, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take out my whole investment right here. So like I took it out short, and then eventually like a few months later ends up going all the way back to 4. But I mean, I was still like solid with the 100%. It was like the biggest trade that I've like ever made, you know, and that was like at the beginning of my trading career. So after that, I was like, you know what, I have like a little bit of money to put into a trading account, and then I got a little bit of money to, you know, just hold as an emergency fund or in case I need to make another big trade in the future. And it gave me a lot of confidence, and you know. But I would have never been able to make that trade, and I probably wouldn't be here right now if I didn't save that money initially, you know?
Yeah.
And if I wasn't frugal from the start. But, yeah, it's the funniest shit. It's such a funny story, man.
Being frugal, I mean, dude, that's crazy. I know I don't personally invest into crypto. I think I've only made money on Bitcoin, but I've gotten out every single time. I've never lost money on it, but I also don't like to invest in it. I don't like investments. I don't know. That's just me. I'd rather do business stuff. But that's good, bro. You got out right. I mean, you won something. That's better than losing, I would say. Some people, there's always a loser at the end of those sticks. Some people actually lose a lot of that. But yeah, dude, I mean, getting rid of your bad friends is a good thing. Who you surround with to yourself. Sometimes I'd rather be alone doing my shit than being around bad energy or people that are not on their stuff. And that's really what it takes to be able to take these big swings. I mean, you wouldn't be where you're at right now if you didn't do that risky 80% going to another whole bank account. That's crazy. But fast forward today, what's your game plan? What are you doing now?
So right now, I mean, I guess, like, I'm just trying to become, like, a really, like, I'm not, like, thinking so much about money, like, the way I did before. You know, before it was, like, oh, like, I want to be able to go to any festival that I want. I want to be able to, like, travel and do this, and that. Like, yeah, it is about the traveling and stuff. And I do want to have, you know, fun. But right now, like, I'm just, like, really fixated on just, like, becoming, like, a really, like, efficient trader. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, just being, like, just kind of, like, knowing, like, how the market's going to move and, like, how to enter trades, like, at a precise amount, right? Like, how to, like, be, like, perfect with all the math, right? Like, how to control my mindset, like how to control my emotions when it comes to like being in a big trade or like taking losses consecutively, right? Like, I just want to be like a really efficient trader.
How long do you think it's going to take you to be
I think honestly it's gonna take like I don't think I'm ever gonna like be a perfect trader, you know. So I think there's always gonna be something to improve on, whether it's figuring out how to add like more of a probability of success to the current setup that I have, right? Or adding just more and more strategies to my playbook. Um, so I don't think like it's ever gonna end, but I think that I could go pro within like 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, I think 5 years.
Okay.
5 years I could be a professional trader. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that's gonna look like how many strategies I would need to have in order to get there. Because the current strategy that I have right now, it's like it only yields like a 51% win rate, so it's not even that high. But it is the highest that I've traded so far. The first strategy that I started off with was like a 30% win rate at best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at best.
What does that mean?
Like let's say if you're taking 10 trades out of the month, right? You're only gonna win on 30% of those.
Okay.
Right? To a certain amount.
So are you betting the same amount every single time?
Yeah. So you're not position sizing the same amount, right? But it's whatever you're willing to lose is what you're going after, right? So let's say you only want to lose $100 on every trade, right? So you have to position side accordingly in order to only lose $100 per trade, and that means that, right? That means that your math just has to be on point. Right? You got to be able to like just do math on the fly, right? Have your either have your calculator or kind of just already know.
Yeah.
Like, all right, if I want to risk to this level, then I can only purchase like 3 contracts or something like that, right?
Okay.
Either that or you just have to add a calculator.
Yeah. The calculator. Yeah. Do you have a calculator right next to you when you're trading?
Yeah. Yeah, bro, I do.
That's good, bro.
Yeah.
Good. So you're full on doing the whole trading thing.
Yeah, I'm doing the trading thing.
So why do you want to do content?
I mean, I think it's good. Like, I have a lot of, just little stories to share, right? Like, I feel like when I first started, I kind of didn't know, like, where to go when it came to trading. There's just so many things on YouTube. Yeah. Right? Which, I mean, ironically, I'm just going to be another one of those things on YouTube. Okay. But, like, I mean, not even that, bro. But, honestly, I feel like I'm just a good teacher. I feel like I tutored kids when I was in college. I tutored high school kids. I tutored a college student. I even tutored, like, elementary school kids. And I just feel like I know how to break things down to the point where somebody could just, like, they'll just know how to do it, right, if I explain it to them. Yeah. Right? I feel like even, like, as a student in college, I feel like I struggled a lot with all of my classes, related to engineering. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I always failed. All my early classes, I failed, and I almost dropped out of, like, the engineering program because I just didn't know how to learn properly, right? But then as soon as I figured out my flow, as soon as I figured out...
How you learn?
Yeah, how I learn and, like, how to best study, right? And how many hours, like, it would take in order to, like, become a good student. Then after that, it was, like, all I had to do was put in the work, right? Yeah. So I feel like I could just kind of... Like, I can relate to a lot of struggling either students or struggling traders, right? And I feel like I could come from a different angle when it comes to education with the trading game. And not even just trading, but, like, maybe they're questioning, like, how they could manage trading with a full-time job or or trading with, like, a very small account, right? Yeah. There's just so many questions out there that I didn't fully know the answers to until, like, I was, like, halfway through the trading journey. And I just love helping. I'm a very reflective person. I would write down so much during my trading journey. And yeah, I would write down all these questions. What about this? What about that? What about if I don't make it, right? So I'm always very reflective of those kinds of things. And I feel like since I'm reflective on those kinds of things, that means that I was able to come up with answers to a lot of just general questions that people have when it comes to doubt in their trading journey, or just even making an entire like lifestyle shift.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, I feel like I could really benefit the trading community.
So where are you going to be posting your content? Where can people follow you? Where can people
I'm thinking like
start?
I'm thinking like I'm gonna do YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube.
You have an Instagram right now?
I do have an Instagram.
What is it?
It's Andrew1M1L.
Okay.
So Andrew 1 mil.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Such a funny handle. It's kind of cringe, but
it's okay. You can always change it if you want.
Yeah.
Well, guys, follow Andrew. He's gonna start making content about trading. If you guys want to start your trading journey, hit him up, dude. He's willing to take on questions. If anything, help him create content, and it's always good to catch people on the rise, like I said, because when people are on the rise, they have more time for you. Like right now, like you guys ever message me, I have time for you guys, but later I can't promise you that because I probably won't have time. Even today, like, dude, I had set a certain time, and like I'm always busy, dude. I'm always doing something, so time is one of those things. But guys, life has really flipped over for me over the last couple of years. I told you guys I'm going to start creating more content. This is probably the second video from the day we came back. I'm doing things a lot more different, a lot better this time. Finally a good position nowadays. It took me longer than what I expected. I thought I was actually going to be in this position in March, but it looks like it's August now, and we're back on track altogether, but we have some new goals and set for February, and I'm going to follow you guys along till the journey. Like I said, I'm going to just tell you guys about my life and the cool things that I do, and I meet interesting people. I'll put them back on. I do have someone else that I'm going to be talking to soon enough next week, so this thing's going to take off, dude. But so glad you got to. How did it feel?
Yeah, dude. I'm kind of sad that it's over. I feel like we flew through that.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
You felt nervous? You still, it went away, huh?
Yeah, it went away. It went away. I completely forgot that we were recording. Like, it just felt so natural, you know?
Yeah. And that's why I wanted you to do it. I mean, this is kind of like your first, you know? It's your first, and I like encouraging people to create content because it is where the world is moving. And I know for myself, I'm already comfortable enough. So if I can break that little ice barrier for you, now when you're on camera, it's going to be like so much different where you're like, I already did it. Yeah. You know, it's easy. Yeah. And it is easy. It's just, you know, it's just not caring what other people think about yourself, being who you are. And if you are who you are and what you talk about, you're not going to sound like you're making things up. That's why it's so easy for me to just talk to somebody, because this is who I am. This is what I've done. This is what I do.
Yeah.
All together, guys, that is another lesson. So if you guys want to just do something with your life, just do it, dude. To be like, I'm just going to do it. But, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. That's it. I'll see you guys next time.